Hi guys, welcome to this World Championship briefing. This year's route is very selective, and it should favor a climber. The total distance is 265 kilometers. After the first 80 kilometers that resemble a standard road race, there are 7 laps of a circuit that takes in 1 climb. The 7th and last lap is slightly longer and contains an additional climb. There's no denying it. This championship is not made for us. If we want to make a showing, we'll have to be in the early breakaway or try our chance from a long way out. Go on! Have a good championship, guys!
Hey, I'm Decathlon Gamer, and welcome back to Tour de France 2021. It's our races series, and we're on episode number 6, and we get to partake in our first World Championship race at Innsbruck.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Cycling World's Championships road race. Held in Innsbruck, capital of the Austrian Tyrol, this year's route is highly selective, and it should lead to the crowning of a very good climber.
Now, the way they've opted to do World Championships in this game is instead of representing all of the individual nations, they have a number of key nations, mostly European nations, and then they've coupled certain regions, such as there's an African team, as in the collection of African nations are represented in a single African team. There's a single, as you can see right in front of me here with Smith, a single Asian team. There's also a Western European team that has a lot of the smaller European nations, where you only have the 1 or 2 or 3 individuals, then coupled. And then there's an Americas team that has both the North and South American riders outside of, I believe, Colombia. I believe Colombia is represented as an individual team in this championship, but only a handful of actual nations are represented, and then again we have those kind of those oddball, lump it all together kind of rider. So what we have is we are with Germany, and the reason why I've picked Germany, well, first off, my native United States is not available. So with the US not available, what becomes my options from there? Well, I'm really looking at 2 options after that that would be most representative. One is if I went with the Asian team. Now, the reason why I would go with the Asian team is I lived as an expat for a few years, and my wife, who I met while I was living as an expat, is from the Philippines. So I've spent time in the part of the world, I lived in that part of the world, and I have definite ties to that part of the world, and therefore that would be a natural selection, but that's not my native selection. Now, obviously, the US not being a choice, where do I go from there? Well, what are my roots? What do my roots say? Well, I'm a mutt, actually. I'm very much the typical melting pot American. I have a bit of blood from all over the freaking place, but the largest percentage, Deutsch, German. So I do have a bit more German. My mother's maiden name is a very German name, and that side of the family is about half German, so about a quarter of my overall muttness, my blood, is German. So for that, I've picked the German team, and we ride today with Emanuel Buchmann and or other riders on the German national team. Now, we are not favored for this race at all, which is a little surprising because there is some quality in Buchmann and a few of the others on this German squad. So I think we have every reason to be optimistic that we could get inside the top 10, or at least in the top 15 in this race. The objective, top 25. I think that's something we can definitely manage. We can definitely muster that, so we'll see how that goes. I'm going to back off just slightly and maybe grab the wheel of Yates. There we go. We have a small break. Just oh, come on, game. Come on, game. Well, that was early in the race to have the controller glitch happen, where we lose all control. There's one of my strong teammates, Kamna. And we turn on to the first big climb of the day. We'll see how this one goes. My goal through here is to not overcommit. I want to just kind of ride tempo, and I'm going to set just standard control for now and kind of ride at this pace. We'll see how this goes. For now, there doesn't seem to be much effort of anything. This isn't going to take away from the legs. It's not going to recover, but I don't need to recover. If I'm slightly off the pace, I can speed up a little bit. I've slipped backwards slightly, but you're doing fine. I'm going to speed up just a little bit. Ron kind of blocking me off there, and a couple of Asian riders. Lutsenko looks like team leader, potential team leader for that Asian team. Okay, here comes a big acceleration. No, not big, just a minor acceleration. Yeah, Fuglsang with the West Euro team. It's kind of what I'm curious about right now. I mean, the others are standard, easy. Alex Dowsett for Team Great Britain, no problem. Winner Anacona for Team Colombia, no problem. Makes sense. Izaguirre Valverde for Team España, it all makes sense. I'm just kind of curious, what's the makeup of these other teams? Bernal with Colombia. Yeah, obvious. Gittich. First one that I actually don't know who that is. There you go, things have backed off again. We're right back to the front. Philippe Gilbert with the Belgian team. There's Dombrowski with the Team America. Nice name for them, Team America. World Police. Somehow funny, and yet somehow absolutely horrendously bad at the same time, right? Alright, we can see the climb up ahead. We're going to hit this thing many, many times. This is just the very first of 7 times up this climb. Which surprises me that you don't have a North and South America team at least. Because America, US has nearly enough riders, especially if you add in, say, Michael Woods. Right, that alone makes them just about good enough. But if you add in, like, Kevin Rivera, Costa Rican, you don't have to look hard to find a couple riders to kind of fill out that squad. I'd certainly play as them, but this is not a US-made game. They could have tried a little harder to add in a few more nations. But it's okay. It is what it is. Okay, we've already fully recovered now. And I had enough pace there before Tish Benoot, who just withdrew at the time of recording this, just withdrew from the Tour de France today. I'm recording this the same day as the double Mont Ventoux, stage 11. There's Dumoulin. Dumoulin's here. Go way back forward as we've hit the base. Full strength. Nolte. It's a lot of Americans on the Team America. They have Carapaz, by the way, as their leader, and that's kind of one of the main reasons why I didn't go for them, because he's Ecuadorian, not American. I have to kind of fill the role of one of the Americans for that to make sense. Justifying that selection. Though carrying that Team America sign does make a certain amount of sense. Let's go ahead and follow Shockman for now. Let's go pretty flat out there for a moment, but I'll back off. Fell up here. Try to get back to full strength before the feed zone. Oh, I lost his wheel. Lost his wheel. Okay, there we go. Blue bar full, or was full. Red bar full. Try again. Pull up. Alright, almost full strength here as we just went through. Oh, nope, first feed zone just ahead of us. And there's no gel left to use anyway, so there you go. Gel is full yet again, right as we go to begin climb number 2. Oh, how did I get squeezed out there? I'm a full bike length ahead of Port, and Port just squeezed me out of that hole. Not cool. Okay, it starts to open up, nearing the top. Group of 65, so 68th, that's the position we gotta watch out for. We were down to 62nd there for a moment. Okay. Recovering position a little bit here. I don't know. Gotta be aware that there are 3 climbs to navigate before the next feed zone. This is the first, and we're about to peak, and we've got 2 more. Not 100%, but looking good. There is Carapaz leading Team America. Alright, energy, not 100%, but looking pretty dang good. We got some fantastic recovery in on that descent. And now as we have 2 climbs to go, we still have 100% of our gel and most of our energy. Technically, about 2/3, but so steady. There's a big sit up. Nope, didn't last long. So these guys are all pushing, like max pedal strength. Right now, front 3 plus 60, so we gotta watch that position. 63rd is the back end of the group. It is thinning out some. Now, I'm supposed to have somebody protecting me, and I've not seen them at all. Maybe we need to get in and change. And we're closing in on the end of circuit number 3. Not yet halfway. Okay, we need to start riding here. We need to move forward. One more little arrow. And there we go. Okay. Come back into position. Yeah, that was not smart. Saw the corner coming up. Just took foot off the gas. Figured that would be enough, and it was not. Steady tempo again. a little bit, recover a little energy here. We're, energy-wise, we're very similar to where we were on the last climb. Meanwhile, we have one more to go until we get our next gel. Excuse me. Final feed zone as well. And the group continues to thin out. Now 54 chasing 3. It's still 2 minutes and 50 seconds to the breakaway. So we've got a ways to go to catch up to those guys. And you can really expect that in the coming climbs, tempo is going to inevitably be higher. Definitely riding faster along the flat this time, and it's pulling back the breakaway a little bit. We've seen that gap come down by about 15 seconds through this portion. Alright, let's go and gel up now. Into the climb, almost full strength. That's the end of this gel. And we're setting a faster tempo this time. As expected, this is going to really start thinning the group out. Van Garderen gets dropped. Rudy Millard, Philippe Gilbert, Thibaut Pinot, Lawson Craddock have all been dropped. Schachmann was dropped. And now, Tarme Valverde all dropped now, out of contention. 45 chasing 3, gap has come down to 2 minutes, 20 seconds as we approach the top and the halfway point of our circuits on this climb, and the pace has lifted. And we'll do this, keep pushing. Paddy Bevan has been dropped from the front group. He's losing contact. Fewer riders working at the front now, as they are running out of energy. It's going to change the complexion of this group somewhere around the next climb. However, we do have gels to come, so you're going to see a little bit of recovery. So next climb, figure will be about the same, but then those last 2 times over the climb, by that point gels will have been used, and riders will then thin out yet again. Oh gosh, not again. I didn't crash. Come on. I hit the brakes before that time. There was no reason that I should have fallen down. Somebody came up behind me and bumped me. Words cannot describe how disappointed I am in that one. I was going much slower than the previous climbs. Kamna's been dropped as well, so he's... Oh gosh, I'm not looking. I blew it. I'll take the blame. I was going much slower than the previous times. I even sat up, where the previous times I went straight through, but I had a better line on the previous ones than I had this time. There's Kamna. He has recovered a fair bit. Okay, he's still set to protect, but let's change this. Okay, and we follow. Alright, second crash, 100% on me because I was looking to the left-hand side to figure out the race situation and see how far back I was. That first one, though, a lot of that's on me because I didn't have the best line. But I was entering slower. I was going, wait, this is where I crashed before, and I hit the brakes. And then I still had a bad line where, it was not panning out. It was not going the way I would want it to. This is not 90%. Calm down. We call that 90%? Anyway, I didn't think I should have fallen off there. Somebody came up hard behind, and I don't know if that's why I fell off, or if it was solely from my action. But that was pretty bad. Velens, there's Tish Benut, there's Ben O'Connor. Made our way already up to this grouping. Gotta keep going. Port is among this group. This is the group that Pogacar left behind. He rode on clear. You can see Pogacar going right around the corner. There's Port plus 3 others. We're making our way up to them. So we've bridged a whole lot of this gap, but we cannot go too hard too long because we got a long ways still to go. Alaphilippe, Pierre Latour. There's Richie Port and Lutsenko. Dang. Jeez. That was the AI. I was tight to the inside and super slow. That time, that was all AI pushing me out there. There we go, coming up on the corner. Big right-hander. And we're good through there this time. Group 7 on the road, 9. We're following 16, but there's a huge gap from them to us. And there's a huge gap from them to the front runners, which are the top 12. We have to catch that next group. If we can catch that next group on this next climb, I've got a shot at the top 25. Otherwise, we are doomed. Front is all split up too. Largest group is 3. There's Landa with 9. That's what's left of that group. That group's now down to 8. So they had 16, they're down to 8. So they're all split up. And we're coming back at a group of them. And they're losing time. They're definitely losing time. I'm 9 seconds ahead of 3 members of my group of 9, so that's 4. That's 5 that have been dropped and fallen off. I'm okay if those guys catch me, especially if we can catch these guys in front. Okay, I've been caught. It's Benut, Port, Pogacar, and here we go. We're coming forward. On Christian Eiking, Berhane from the break. Team Africa, the South African. Or is he South African? I think he's South African. I might be wrong. Kwiatkowski, Micah, Demulan. And we're riding right on past him. High tempo now. We're really making some progress. Rowan Dennis, kind of another Australian. Will he have the legs to stay with Port? And there's another group in sight. Wow, we have made so much progress through this climb. And it's just the four of us. So my ploy worked. I split the group. Oh, Benut's going to get dropped though. And it's going to cost me. By the time I got around him, I lost the wheel. I'm going to have to continue on alone. By the way, look at my position. Bottom right corner. The group, 11. The position, now 25th. All the way from 48th. We've made our way up. So Dennis, already almost a minute behind. Tish Benut, already 30 seconds behind. So we've really opened that gap. It's also opening in front of us though, 5:50 behind. There's a group of 13 just in front. We might be able to make contact with them before the end, but we are also very low on energy right now. We need to gel up as we're going without. 74k per hour. Riding solo here. Recovering a lot of energy for that final climb. Now 9th group on the road, but still 25th position, so great recovery after pitiful showing with a double crash a few laps back. Okay, gotta start riding from here. We're not gonna be long before we hit the climb, but we do need to set a tempo that can be kept. I'm riding solo right now, not easy for that. We'll get a little bit of recovery, which should get us to the finish, so we can just about use everything on this climb. And there are so many other riders right ahead of us now. What's going on? Bernal? No. Bernal is still in 4th place. Lopez. Malama doing fantastic. Barguil also. Uran, Roglic. There I am, 12th. The gap behind is fine. Gap behind's not a problem. Push a little bit more here.
The man in front's on his way downhill.
Looks like Pogacar is about to drop Port. We might be able to pull Port back in. They are closing in on the group in front as well. How much longer do I have to climb? Still a bit. I need to back off a little bit. Okay, arrow tuck. I don't know this road. Big right-hander. This is a problem for me.
Another 3 kilometers for the man in front.
Got it.
Acceleration at the front of the
Just a
peloton.
light braking,
No fault
and here's
mistake.
another big switchback. And we are coming up on a group, and we're over a minute ahead of everybody else. Can I catch these guys? Can I contest for a higher position? Or will we literally get 25th and the final position to qualify for what we needed? 2k to go. Gap behind has actually opened. 16 seconds behind those guys. It's a little harder here. This is about pace now. 1k to go. Okay, max speed. And we're gonna have to sprint it out coming out of this corner. Bike throw. Just for practice. Got the bike throw in. Okay, wow. Hey, 3 crashes. Totally my fault. I was an idiot. I put myself in a terrible position. I was in a great position, and then all of a sudden I was 48th, minutes behind. And yet I fought back and got to 25th. Barring, excluding the mistakes that were obviously not good. That was a fantastic recovery ride. Definitely one of the best rides that I've had, excluding the crashes, which, yeah, not a fan of that part. Okay, I was wondering. So, I have edited the database for the regular races to fix riders' names. There's two teams that don't have licensing, and you can go in and put the appropriate names in. For these world races, that is not the same. It's you have the affected licensing. Now I see. I was trying to figure this out. I didn't understand it. Now it makes sense. The winner, Greg LeMond. Eddie Merckx finished second, 8 seconds down. And my teammate, who finished 82nd, Zabex, is Eric Zabel. So, okay. Good to know. Good to know. That makes a lot more sense. So, Greg LeMond won the race. And we pulled off a pretty dang good result, getting into the top 25 and being well clear of those behind us. I mean, we were 48th. I ended up at 5:45 down. Lutsenko, who finished 48th. In fact, all of these guys, Sari was the next one. So that was the next one who was behind us. These were the guys who were with me. That was the first guys I made contact with. 16 minutes, 4 seconds down. 10 minutes and 20 seconds ahead of these guys. That is a massive, massive difference. Great recovery ride. What could have been, what should have been, if I had not been an idiot and gone down not once but twice back to back there, things could have been very different in terms of where I did finish. Obviously, we would have maintained our position in the main group. So figure Bardet at the 418, Carapaz 418, we would have been there. I don't know if we would have been ahead of these top 10, but we would have been there or thereabouts for a top 10. What could have been and what was, different matter. What was is we still recovered enough to get 25th, which is what we needed for the XP. That is double XP, so we get an extra 20. That is 40. Now, the reason why I get 20 is we're playing on the second hardest difficulty level. Otherwise, you would get 10 XP per stage on regular difficulty. So even though I'm a newbie, we're playing on the harder difficulty. Extra challenge, double XP already, and then you get double XP for finishing the mission, the objective, and so we get 40 XP instead of 10 or 20. That's a big difference. I'm Decathlon Gamer. Thanks for tuning in. Be sure to hit that like button. See you next time. Have a good one. Be safe out there. Bye for now.